At a point of time, we are in a spot to be or not to be. Here's the question: how to become better than what I am today? Just a nudge of bit daily, not much, 1%. Right direction and 1%. What if I tell you that in 1 year you would be 37.78 times better than you were when you started? Do you want to know more? Please stay tuned. Watch the video till end. This video for you. Because we are about to go through a simple but powerful principle from New York Times bestseller, Atomic Habits by James Clear. In May 2025, a few friends and myself had gone to Everest Base Camp trekking. We need to fly to Lukla, Nepal from Kathmandu to start our treacherous and beautiful trekking. In Lukla, we stopped to have breakfast. One book spotted in my glance, Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Result by James Clear. Could not read, we need to move. After we returned back from the quest of Everest Base Camp, our flight had been cancelled due to bad weather. Once again, I spotted the same book. This time, I read it. A great book, something like Kaizen concept that I knew. Herewith, I would like to share what the great book says. Most of us feel stuck, but not actually getting closer to the person that we want to be. It usually happens towards end of the year when we want to put up a New Year resolution. You imagine all the bad habits you are going to break and all the good habits you want to begin. Yeah, this time I'll make it. I'll be different. You say to yourself, this time I'm going to do the things that I say I will and I achieve it. Only in the end, we are back where we begin shortly after. No closer to what you had pictured. So the question is, how do you become the person you dream of becoming? Please pay attention to this video to embark the journey to leap into a person you envisage. Here's the analogy. Imagine a plane traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok. Just before takeoff, we were to change the trajectory of the plane slightly by a few degrees to the right. If the plane kept the flight route, you will end up closer to Phnom Penh in Cambodia, but your intended destination is Bangkok. The same goes to our habit. Tiny changes in our habit can change the trajectory of our lives in a way that we can't even notice until many years to come. It works both ways for good and bad habits. Far too often, we convince ourselves that massive success is only possible through massive action. In any goal we are pursuing, we expect ourselves to make some revolution or a quantum leap or a momentous improvement that will gain others' attention. However, it is the tiny improvement or the incremental that aren't even noticeable at first that create incredible change. Mathematically, we can explain this. 1% better every day for a year will compound to nearly 38 times better. 1% worse every day for a year will bring you closer to zero. Your habit can compound against you in the form of things like stress or negative self-talk, or they can compound for you in the form of things like knowledge, productivity, skill, and relationship. You embark on New Year resolution. Here is what we think should happen: a linear progress. Here is what actually will happen. Notice this section here. In the beginning, small changes in our progress are not even noticeable. Frustration grew bigger than our motivation. James Clear refers to this part of the chart as the valley of disappointment. You have done so much, put in so much effort, and yet you can't barely see any result. This is where most people fail and slip back into their old routines. The most powerful outcome of any compounding process are delayed, so patience is badly required. Imagine the Chinese bamboo tree. For the first 4 years after planting, there's no visible growth. However, during this time, the bamboo is developing a strong and extensive root system underground. In the fifth year, the bamboo can grow up to 90 feet tall in just a matter of few weeks. A goal is a result of what you want to accomplish. Systems deal with the processes that lead to result. The discipline or the system, as per James Clear's word, takes you longer. Consistently, the discipline molds you to find one reason to succeed even though you have 99 excuses. But motivation of goal setting needs constant impetus to find favorable condition to keep the action flowing rather than one spike here and there of the motivation. Goals are motivated action to dream the end first, but persistence in the form of discipline with the system and the behavioral action are the only form that takes you to the bulwark of achieving. Without it, it's a dream or faraway glimpses of yourself fading away. James Clear thinks of you would succeed even if you completely ignore your goals and focus only on your systems of discipline. Do successful and unsuccessful people share the same goal? Yes, they do. Goals are same, but what differentiates winners from the losers? Achieving a goal only changes your life for a moment in time. It's either you win or you lose. So what? Okay, you have a goal, you achieved it. What's now? If your goal was to run the local marathon, chances are after completing it, your motivation will quickly fade away and you will just slip back into your old routines. The problem with changing your habit is not you. The reason why you repeat the same bad habit for so long isn't because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. Atomic habits are small routine and behaviors that accumulate to produce incremental positive outcome over the time. Big breakthrough tend to get more attention than small improvement, but what really matters are the little daily decision and action we take. Just as an atom are the building blocks of a molecule, atomic habits are the building block for a remarkable result. There are three layers of behavioral change. The first layer is changing outcomes, the result. Losing the weight, top New Year resolution, or changing job, buying a new house, the outcome are what you get. The second layer is changing your processes. What you do, the joining gym of a workout, jogging, getting master degree to equip yourself for a bigger role. And the third layer is changing your identity, what you believe, your worldview and how you think about yourself and others. Most people focus on the outcome, but the best way to change your habit is by focusing on the person you want to become instead of the result you want. The goal isn't to get a new degree, it is to become knowledgeable. The goal isn't to run a marathon, it is to become runner. When something you want in your life become part of your identity, that is when your behavior will change naturally. When you tell yourself and others, I'm a runner, you want to live up to that identity. Remind yourself, every time you do a workout, you're an athlete. Every time you finish a course, you are learning. Every time you instruct your team, you are a leader. A habit is when something has been repeated enough time that it becomes automatic. Ultimately, we want our habit to solve problems in our life with the least amount of effort. A habit is formed and reinforced by means of continuous feedback loop. Cue plus craving plus response plus reward. The key to creating habit that sticks is to create feedback loop that is continuously being improved. Cue, phone buzz, craving. what to know, who message, respond, pick up phone, reward, solve the problem of who messaged. Q, mind go blank at work, craving, want to alleviate the frustration, response, grab coffee or smoking, reward, satisfy the need to feel less frustrated. Over time, reward become associated with clue. So in this example, checking social media or smoking become tied to your mind going blah at work. And when checking Facebook, maybe the cue to check Instagram, which become the cue to check WhatsApp. And before you know it, your mind going blank queue has taken led to 20% of wasted time. And you more and more repeat the same habit loop, the stronger and more automatic they become. Cue can be really anything: a smell, a sound of a sight, a person, a location, etc. etc. Try to think of any clue in your daily life that is initiating your good and bad habit loop. So, how can we influence the habit to work for us? This book shows us the 4 laws that will guide to do just that. Most of your current habits are so automatic that you don't even realize them. You must first become aware of your habit before you can change them. You can achieve that with your habit scorecard. Write down all your daily behavior on the habit scorecard. From the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed. Your scorecard may look something like this. Based on whether it helps you to become a person you aspire to be, categorize each habit as positive, negative, or neutral. At this stage, we aren't trying to change anything, just an observation of what is actually going on in our daily life. Vagueness is a real problem when it comes to habit formation, and studies have shown that quite often the reason people fail to stick to a habit is not because of a lack of motivation, but because of lack of clarity. One day I will get back into shape. It is easy to say to yourself, but too vague to get any momentum. What you need is a specification of time and place. The most common cue, time and location, will help you achieve the goals. Another good way to get habit started is by habit stacking. To stack habit, tie a desired habit to an existing habit according to the following formula. After the current habit, I will the new habit. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will stretch for 5 minutes. A chain of habit is more likely to be sustained if you practice the consistently. Choosing the correct trigger is essential. You need a trigger cue. The trigger should be something that you do automatically without fail during your day, such as waking up, turning off the alarm, or brushing your teeth. James Clear tells us in the book that motivation is highly overrated. It is the environment that better shapes our behavior. We are more influenced by our environment than our willpower or motivation. It's hard to stick a positive habit in a negative environment. Creating a habit requires you to redesign the space around you, home or work. First, make it easier to see the cue for the desired habit, and second, to avoid bad habits from making themselves invisible. If you want to drink more water, make the cue visible or obvious. Place water around the house in the places you likely to see them. Want to read more? Place the book somewhere you want to see it. If you want to shape up, don't leave the dumbbell in a storeroom. Objects alone in the environment do not determine our behavior. Rather, it is our relationship or the influence to them that does. The environment is a place filled with relationship rather than object. The couch in the living room is a place where one person reads an hour a night. For another, the couch is where they watch Netflix and drink coffee. If your relationship with the couch is a place for relax, then trying to get a work-related task done on that environment may be difficult because you had hardwired your brain into thinking it is a place of relax and drinking your morning coffee. It had been repeated many times and already formed as a behavior. Try to make a separate zone in your house for different activities. The author likes to use the mantra one space, one use. If you are trying to eliminate a bad habit, you can only rely on self control in short term. Cutting off bad habit at the source is more reliable solution, and one of the most practical way to eliminate a bad habit is to make it invisible. Eliminate it from your environment. For example, put your phone in another room for a few hours if you have trouble getting your work done. Put junk food out of sight or remove it from your room if you are trying to lose weight. When you expect to be rewarded, we take action. The more rewarding an action is, the more likely we are to repeat it until it becomes a habit. It's the way our brain had been tuned to it, as per explained by Frederick Hesberg in 1959 two-factor theory. Hence, the first step to forming good habit is make them more attractive. Understanding how dopamine affect our body will help you. Our motivation level are affected by dopamine, a hormone and neurotransmitter. We are more motivated to act when our dopamine level rise. By measuring dopamine, scientists can pinpoint the exact moment at which a craving occurs. It is not only about pleasure, it is vital to many neurological functions including motivation, memory, learning, punishment as well as voluntary movement. Gambling addicts have a dopamine spike right before they place a bet, not after they win. Using social media, eating junk food, taking drugs are all associated with high level of dopamine and highly habit forming. The hormone dopamine is released not only when we experience pleasure but also when we anticipate it. Think about before going on a vacation, sometimes the thinking and anticipation of a vacation itself is better than the actual vacation. For a smoker, seeing a cigarette surges dopamine, not after inhaling it. The craving is what causes us to take action in the first place. Making our habit effective is vital because it is expectation of a rewarding experience that drives us to act. James Clear introduced a strategy known as temptation bundling. The temptation bundling process makes a habit more effective by combining an action we need to do with the one that we want to do. For example, you can bundle watching Netflix, something that you want to do, with working out, something you need to do. Temptation bundling applies the psychology principle which states more probable behavior will reinforce less probable behaviors. In other words, even if you are not looking forward to doing some exercise, you will be conditioned to do it because you get to do something else which you really enjoy. We are creatures of social influence. We are continually wondering what will others think of me and altering our behavior based on the answer. We are influenced by the people closer to us and the group we belong to. Buddha said, "Show me your friend, I'll show you." If you are trying to build a new habit, one of the best ways to reinforce the habit is to find and become part of a culture where the habit is the norm. If you want to get in better shape, surround yourself with fit people. If you want to do a master degree program, join the particular academic group. In your normal everyday life, you wouldn't say something to yourself like, "I want to smoke a cigarette because I need to consume this food to survive." Surface level craving is merely manifestation of a deeper underlying motives. Your brain did not evolve with a desire to smoke cigarette or check WhatsApp every 5 minutes or to play video games. Online platform and products do not invent new motivation, but rather appeal to the underlying motive of human nature that we already have to gain our attention. Your habits are modern day solution to ancient desire, new version of old vices. The underlying motive behind human nature remain the same. People who have the underlying motive of connecting with others may jump onto Facebook. Others seeking to share sorrow will patronize pubs. Reducing uncertainty, there is Google or Chat GPT for that. Seeking social acceptance, that is WhatsApp. Reprogramming our brain to enjoy hard habits. You can make hard habits more attractive if you can learn to associate them with a positive experience. By highlighting the benefit of a habit rather than its downside, you can quickly reprogram your mind and make it more appealing. For example, fitness equals to health and well-being and not fatigue. Calculated spending equals to achieve financial freedom. This shift in mind aren't abrupt shift, but they can change your feelings towards some habit or situation subtly. How long does it actually take to form a new habit? During habit formation, a behavior becomes increasingly automatic as it is repeated. As you repeat an activity, your brain connection changes in order to become more efficient with it. It is a tenacity to keep a new habit during the formation through the valley of disappointment, and the first start reaping the benefit of perseverance is the key to this. Remember the bamboo tree? Repetition was known as a powerful tool for establishing habit. You activate particular neural circuits associated with habits every time you repeat them. The more energy required, the less likely it is to happen. It takes almost no energy to get into the habit of habits are more likely to occur when they require less energy. The bigger and more the obstacle, the more friction there is between you and the desired outcome. If you need to travel 20 minutes out of your way to go to the gym, chances are you will not. If your gym is located on your commute to work, you will greatly decrease the friction. By making your good habit more convenient, you're more likely to stick to them. Your life will be easier if you find ways to reduce friction rather than trying to solve it. In order to build better habit, you have to find ways to reduce friction associated with your good habit and increase friction associated with your bad habit. By facilitating or tuning your environment, you can reduce the friction for future action. Example, I will lay out my workout clothes at night so that I can get up and get it moving in the morning. Using the 2-minute rule to stop procrastination can help you establish small habits that will lead you to habit momentum and success in bigger goals. Find a simple 2-minute version of your desired habit you want to scale down your desired outcome. You need to get the routine anchored in place and then slowly build up the difficulty, like progressive overload. After you had mastered the 2-minute habit, you can progress to next level. To make something more difficult, think about ways you can create barriers of friction between yourself and the bad habit. Make it as impractical as possible. If you want to smoke less, leave the pack in the house when you go out. When you go shopping, leave the credit card under the seat of your car if you have a bad habit. Do anything you can to make your bad habit less likely to occur. A feeling of pleasure is a message to the brain that feels good. Let's repeat this next time. When you have experienced pleasure, your brain learns that a behavior is worth remembering and repeating. What is immediately rewarded is repeated. What is immediately punished is avoided. The first 3 habits increase your chances of doing the habit this time. The last law increases your chances of repeating the habit next time. It is common for us to feel good about our immediate result, but bad about our long-term outcome when we practice bad habit. It is opposite with good habit. The immediate result is unpleasant, but the ultimate outcome is satisfying. A certain amount of success, little immediate pleasure to the habit that will pay off in the long run, and little pain to those that won't. How to stick with a good habit every day? The vital thing is getting a habit to stick is feel successful, even if it is in a small way. The feeling of success is a signal that your habit paid off and that work was worth the effort. It is satisfying to make progress, and you can monitor your progress using visual measures such as moving a paperclip, hairpin or marbles. These little wins can go a long way. For example, for each sales you call in to make today, move a bubble from one jar to another jar to complete it. Each 25 minutes of writing, move a paper clip. How to recover quickly when your habit breaks down. In spite of your best effort, it is inevitable that life will interrupt you at some point. Hard and bad day at work, a bad performance, a bad workout can happen to anyone. When you are having a bad day, you don't realize how valuable it is to just show up. Lost days hurts more than successful days help you. Don't break the chain of continuity. Missing twice is a start of bad habit. Never do it. On a bad day, it's better to do 10 sit-ups instead of your normal 50 sit-ups than not to do them at all. Breaking a bad habit, make it unsatisfying. How an accountable partner can change everything. A behavior is less likely to occur when pain is immediate. Being held accountable by a partner is a good way to keep your desired habit in check. We all want to be liked and respected, so we would rather just avoid the punishment. For example, I owe you $10 every time I miss a workout, plus the respect I lose for failing to do what I said I would. Behavior is more likely to be influenced by concrete and immediate consequences. You can create a habit contract to hold yourself accountable. Just like a government uses laws to hold the citizen accountable, you can create a habit contract either verbally or in writing, which will make it clear that you will honor a particular habit that and also there's a punishment if you do not. You can use your accountability partner and enforce that contract. Thank you.